What if I told you if there's a specific way to hack your brain and body to optimal performance, and what many successful entrepreneurs used as their super weapon to increase energy, focus, and overall well-being?
But what is actually biohacking and how does it work? So today I will give you my complete Biohacking 101 for entrepreneurs to optimize your health and performance and become limitless.
Welcome to today's video. My name is Marvin, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a health and performance coach for high achieving and high performing individuals such as entrepreneurs and executives. And if you want to learn more about optimizing your health and performance, then make sure you subscribe to that channel. And before we get straight into these 11 ways, you have to keep one thing in mind. In the fast and competitive world of entrepreneurship, keeping high levels of focus, energy, and even well-being can be quite difficult. And I'm sure you can relate to this. Back in the days when I was a student and working as a personal trainer, it was way easier to focus on my health. My recovery was better, therefore my testosterone levels were higher. And even if I worked 40 hours and studied simultaneously, I still had enough energy left to focus on my diet and focus on my training. And that drastically changed when I started my own business and opened my gym. Within 2 years, I gained weight, I was constantly sleep deprived, and I suffered from brain fog and anxiety, even if I worked as a health coach. Because let's face it, as entrepreneurs, we often face long work hours, high levels of stress, and of course, high levels of pressure because we want to reach our goals. Trying to eat healthier and exercise several times per week doesn't match the needs of an entrepreneurial lifestyle. And that was also what I was experiencing at that time. Because I ate kind of healthy, I still continued to exercise on a regular basis, but I still was feeling like I was 60, even if I was actually in my early 20s. So I came across some highly successful entrepreneurs who practiced so-called biohacking and dived deep into it. Because especially for entrepreneurs, biohacking offers a solution for that. Because it's a simple and practical strategy to enhance focus, to boost productivity, and to sustain high energy levels. So today I will show you 11 ways to biohack yourself to optimal health and performance that you can use for yourself in order to get a competitive advantage. And these 11 ways fall into 5 bigger pillars which are part of my service: sleep optimization, high performance nutrition, medical testing, science-backed training, and stress management. And the first 3 ways fall into the field of sleep optimization. Number 1, optimize your sleep environment. Why I would always start with the sleep environment? Because once it is done, you benefit long term from it. So once you have your bedroom or your general sleep environment right, you don't have to invest more effort into it. And it simply starts with keeping your bedroom dark and cool. Then make sure you don't have EMF in your bedroom, so-called electromagnetic fields. Things like laptop, also smartphones or the TV or Wi-Fi router, because these electromagnetic frequencies can disrupt your sleep. Then what I recommend is a HEPA or air filter to keep the air inside the bedroom clean. And if you have the budget, you can also invest in things like an intelligent mattress, something like an 8 sleep, because getting deep and consistent sleep is the foundation for peak performance. That's why way number 2 is regular sleep routines. The body loves routines. I remember one pretty old podcast episode from Alex Hormozy where he talks about the, I guess, most important habit for successful entrepreneurs or something like that. But I remember he just talked about one trait, and this was going to bed on time. And honestly, I couldn't agree more with that, because going to bed on time is one of the simplest way to get more sleep and to get better sleep. That's why I recommend don't set an alarm to wake up. Of course, if that fits in your schedule, if you have early appointments, yeah, you have to set an alarm, but it's more important to set an alarm to go to bed. And number 3, use technologies. For example, if you are wondering what kind of ring do I wear, it's an Oura ring. It's a technology that I also provide for our clients in order to measure the sleep quality. Because simply by tracking your sleep, you have way more opportunity to also optimize that. So then you can experiment more with meal timings. Some people have a good night's sleep when they eat straight before bed. Some people need 3, even 4 hours distance. And that's what I also do in my service. I have this huge amount of data, and therefore I can give specific recommendations, and we can try and test different things. And now we enter the second category, which is science-backed training. Way number 4 is do resistance training. Why I recommend doing resistance training? Because it's increasing testosterone levels and therefore is increasing also drive and motivation. And also resistance training is really time efficient. So especially for entrepreneurs, time is really valuable. And with resistance training, you get lots of result with minimal time effort. One thing to keep in mind is to keep the right dosage and intensity of training, because just simply more is not equal better. So that means if you're working out too much or too heavy, like too intense, this can also impact your sleep, worsen your sleep quality, also lead to brain fog or overall fatigue. So you have to find the right dosage. That's why also using technologies and tracking devices like an Oura Ring can be really sensible. Way number 5 is low-level exercise. And these are things like light cardio training, hiking, also just walking. For some people, I also recommend to have a treadmill under their desk. Of course, you need a standing desk, but this combination that you not just can stand while you're working, but also do a little bit of movement. Because we know that low-level exercise dramatically decreases cortisol and enhances cognitive performance. Third category is medical testing, which is a field which is quite unknown for most of people. For example, did you ever go to a doctor to do a blood test? I assume you did. From my experience, in 90% of the cases, the doctor says, yeah, every parameter is okay. But you still feel exhausted, fatigued, and kind of unhealthy. And if that's the case, you're not alone, because many people experience the same thing. The simple reason for that is the reference values from the blood test are based on the average population. And depending on where you live, the average of the population is not what we're aiming for. That's why you should either be able to read your blood work by yourself or work with someone who can read it and then give you specific recommendations. That leads us to way number 6, which is the right supplementation. And this is one key element of biohacking, is to use data and tests in order to do specific things that really move the needle forward. For example, based on a complete blood test result, you can create a specific supplementation protocol instead of just wasting hundreds and hundreds of money on useless supplements. And similar to the sleep environment, once it is done, you benefit long-term from it. Once you have your blood test result and created your supplement protocol, you don't have to invest more effort. Now that brings us to the field of nutrition, way number 7, which is hydration. And hydration is not just about drinking enough water. Of course, drinking water is important, but hydration is also providing the right electrolytes. Because just drinking water and maybe drinking too much water without providing the right electrolytes can even backfire and lead to more fatigue and brain fog. Because the more and more water you drink, the more electrolytes get out of the body. And because at the same time, you're trying to eat healthy, that means you avoid processed food and eat more whole foods, which are actually really low in sodium, and you forget to add salt to your food. It can lead to dehydration. And trust me, it's a huge game changer because that causes a lot of fatigue for people. One pro tip, that's what I also recommend to all of my clients. As soon as you wake up in the morning, drink a big glass of water and add a little bit of sea salt or Himalayan salt. Then you can also use electrolytes, something like Element or different providers throughout the day or also in the morning to keep the hydration. Way number 8. A diet that is based on your body type. We know that we have a huge genetic variety among humans. I'll give you an example. Take 2 humans from completely different parts of the world. First, take an Inuit from Alaska or somewhere. And then take someone from a country like South America. Back in the days, what did they eat? How programmed Mother Nature them to eat? Why the Inuit would run perfect on just meat? The guy from South America would consume more legumes or plant-based foods. Eating that much vegetables would be not so optimal for the Inuit because back in the days where he lived, there was no vegetable available. That's why some people can go on a carnivore diet and feel great about it, where other people need a diet which has more variety of foods. To solve that problem, I use gut intelligence tests with my clients to get more information about which foods they should consume. And that brings us to way number 9, which is outsource nutrition. We should eat at least 3 times per day. And no, I don't recommend intermittent fasting. But even if you skip breakfast, imagine that. You're straight at work. You're deep focused in some task right now. But lunchtime arrives and you feel your stomach and you feel kind of hungry. Now you have to switch your mind and make a decision about food. So, what is available? What do you want? What do you prefer right now? So, order some pasta because I really crave some pasta. Or maybe take a salad because it's kind of healthy. And that is so much decision power wasted. And therefore you get even faster decision fatigue. Because let's face it, as an entrepreneur, you are a decision-making athlete. Making high-quality decisions is one of your biggest assets, and it shouldn't be wasted by everyday choices of food. So create a meal plan or get prepared food delivered. If you maybe have the budget, you can also hire a chef, which is actually not that expensive. But trust me, to structure your nutrition reduces heavily stress. Which now let us enter to the last category, which is stress management. And this is actually a combination of all of the things that we already talked about today. Like sleep. If you don't sleep optimal, your body produces more cortisol and stress hormones. The same applies, for example, when you're vitamin deficient or you exercise too much or too less. And in addition to that, you can work on things like number 10, which is meditation. I had a really interesting conversation with a neuroscientist who worked over 10 years in a laboratory and specialized in enhancing cognitive performance. And she taught me the values of meditations on a regular basis. So even 5 to 10 minutes can be enough. To be honest, there are a variety of meditations that you can do. It's a huge topic, so if you want me to record a video about meditations, if you're interested in that, then just comment it below. Now we come to way number 11, which is recovery rituals. And these can be things like sauna, floating, cryotherapy, or simply cold therapy. It can also be light therapy, but it should be used carefully. Things like sauna or ice bath can even increase stress. That's why if you do it too much, it can even backfire you. For example, if your accumulation of stress is really high because you have right now a lot of work stress going on, you're exercising really hard and intense, and then you do excessive sauna or cold therapy, this can be a little bit too much stress on your body. And therefore you should be careful with these recovery rituals. And now I have one bonus for you, which is number 12, social interactions. Let's be honest, entrepreneurship can sometimes be really lonely. Because also many people don't understand our lifestyle. Working on a Saturday evening can be quite lonely. And we know from science and studies that social interactions has huge benefits on our health and performance. And that's one of the reasons why I created a free school community for entrepreneurs who want to optimize themselves. We have complete guides and courses about every topic that we already talked about, as well as the community and connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs. If you want to explore, there's a link in the description down below. And if you get some value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to that channel. That's it for today, guys. See you soon.